You know that feeling? You wake up and it suddenly hits you? The days are just slipping by. Like you're on a treadmill, going through the motions, but the scenery never really changes. Well, today we're going to talk about how to jump off that treadmill. We're unpacking 7 very specific habits that can help you, intentionally build the life you actually want by 2026. Okay, so I want you to pause for a second and really think about this. If absolutely nothing changed, if you kept the exact same routines, the same mindset, the same distractions for the next couple of years, where would you be? Would you be proud of that person? I know it's a tough question, right? But it's a really, really important one. And this quote, this is really the core idea of our whole conversation. See, we think our future gets ruined by some big, dramatic mistake. But that's not how it happens. It happens quietly. It's the little tiny choices we make every single day, the ones that feel totally harmless at the moment, until you look back and wonder where the last few years went. So all of this, it leads us right into something I like to call the autopilot trap. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a state that so many of us fall into a lot of the time without even realizing it's happening.
Okay, so tell me if this sounds familiar. You wake up and what's the first thing you grab? Your phone, right? You spend the rest of the day just reacting to notifications, to emails, to what everyone else needs from you. And before you know it, poof, the day's gone. And you just get up and do it all over again tomorrow. That, my friends, is autopilot living. And it's the silent thief of our dreams.
But hey, here's the good news. There is absolutely a way out of this trap. And it's not about some massive, life-altering overnight change. Nope. It's more like installing a new operating system for your life. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the 7 habits that are going to give you the power to grab the steering wheel again. All right, first up, we've got habit number 1, design your day. This is all about making a huge shift, okay? A shift from living a reactive life, where you're just a pinball bouncing off whatever comes at you, to living an intentional life, where you are the one calling the shots. I mean, just think about the difference for a second. On one side, you've got the reactionary day. It's basically a tornado of everyone else's priorities, right? But on the other side, you have an intentional day, where you are aimed squarely at your own target. And here's the hard truth. If you don't decide what your day is for, trust me, the world will be more than happy to decide for you. And listen, you don't need some complicated, color-coded planner to do this. It's super simple. Every night, before you go to sleep, just decide on 3 things for the next day. Just 3. One thing that moves your life forward, one thing that takes care of your health, and one thing that brings a little meaning to your day. That is it. Remember, direction is so much more important than speed. All right, let's move on to habit number 2. Strengthen your focus. Look, in the world we live in today, distraction is the silent killer of dreams. It really is. I'm going to say something that might sound harsh, but it's probably not a lack of talent that's holding you back. It's a lack of focus. And this is just the reality of our world now. Almost everyone is distracted all the time, which means that the ability to actually concentrate deeply, well, it's not normal anymore. It's a superpower. It's an almost unfair advantage. So the habit here is to practice just one, distraction-free focus session every single day. That means no phone, no multitasking. I know it's tough at first, but think of focus like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it's going to get. Okay, moving on to habit number 3, take care of your body. This is so basic, but we forget it all the time. Your mind doesn't just float around in space, It lives inside your body. And when your body is run down and ignored, your motivation just tanks. And suddenly, all your big goals start to feel heavy, impossible even. And look, forget about having to do these insane extreme workouts. The rule here is simple. Just move your body every single day. A walk counts. A 10-minute stretch counts. It really doesn't matter what it is, because here's the secret. Consistency beats intensity every single time. You don't need a perfect body. You just need a reliable one that can actually support your ambitions. All right, this next habit, number 4, this one can fundamentally change your entire relationship with the world around you. It's all about making the shift from being a passive consumer to being an active creator. I mean, take a look at this. This is the reality for so many of us, right? We spend almost our entire day just absorbing stuff, watching videos, scrolling through feeds, keeping up with drama. And you know what? It can feel kind of productive. But at the end of the day, has anything in your own life actually changed? Probably not. So the habit is to start balancing the scales. For every hour you consume, try to spend at least some of that time creating. Write something, build something, learn a new skill by actually doing it. Okay, habit 5. I'm going to be honest, this one can be a little uncomfortable, but man, is it powerful. Here's the deal. You cannot build a new version of yourself if you're still clinging to all the pieces of your past. Real growth isn't just about adding new habits. It's also about letting go of the old stuff that's weighing you down. So here's the actual habit, the task for you. Once a week, just once a week, ask yourself this one really honest question. And don't just rush to an answer. Really think about it. Maybe it's a certain friendship, or a mindset, or just an old excuse you keep telling yourself that's holding you back. Just seeing it, just acknowledging it, that's the first huge step to finally moving past it. Okay, let's talk about a very quiet, very sneaky form of self-sabotage, indecision. We spend so much time overthinking, right? Waiting for the perfect time or the perfect plan to magically appear. And what happens? We end up doing nothing at all. We stay stuck. So here's the solution, and it's a simple loop. Clarity doesn't come from more thinking. It comes from doing. You take a small action. That action gives you immediate feedback. And that feedback gives you the clarity you need to take the next step. See how that works? Waiting around for the perfect plan 9 times out of 10, that's just fear in a clever disguise. The habit is to decide faster and then adjust along the way. Okay, so we've covered 6 really powerful habits so far. But let me ask you this. What do you think separates the people who actually change their lives from the people who just, well, watch videos about changing their lives? It really boils down to one final habit. This is the one that ties all the others together. And honestly, it's the one that almost nobody actually practices on a consistent basis. So this is it, the habit that changes everything. And that habit is self-reflection. Think about it. This is the main reason why most people just live the same year over and over and over again. They never stop. They never pause long enough to even notice their own patterns. Self-reflection is the habit that finally wakes you up from that autopilot trance. And it is so simple. We're talking 5 minutes a day. That's it. No distractions. Just you asking yourself these 3 honest questions. And the key here is no judgment, all right? This is just about awareness. This tiny little practice, this is what turns your daily experience into actual progress. It's the system that makes sure you don't keep making the same mistakes. All right, so let's bring all of this together. Let's talk about what this really means for you and for your transformation by 2026. Here's the one thing that most people get wrong about change. They wait to feel motivated. But motivation, it comes and goes, right? It's unreliable. What you really need are systems. These daily habits we've talked about, they're the systems that run in the background, even on the days you're tired and you just don't feel like it. And please, hear me on this. Do not try to start all 7 of these habits tomorrow. That's just a recipe for overwhelm and failure. Just start with 1. That's it. Pick the one that spoke to you the most and just commit to that one, because it's those small, consistent actions that quietly but profoundly change who you are over time. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Time is going to pass no matter what. It's moving forward whether you're ready for it or not. So the only real question left is, who will you become by the end of 2026? The choice to break that autopilot cycle and start building a new future, that choice is yours. And it starts today with one small habit. So what's it going to be?